Hey there, welcome back to Twistology Cubing. In this video, we're going to be teaching you how to solve the standard 3x3 Rubik's Cube. This is the one that everyone knows and loves, and you are about to learn how to solve it. Mainly today, I'm going to be using the stickerless version of 3x3. This is the Tornado V4 by X-Men Designs, just for visual ease. And then when I'm teaching you algorithms, I will demonstrate them on this cube. The first thing to realize when you're solving a Rubik's Cube is the color scheme. Now you don't have to remember this, since the centers don't move around, then it's always on the cube. So the color scheme is basically white opposite yellow, green opposite blue, and red opposite orange. If it makes it easy to remember, it's the colors that look like each other the most. For instance, yellow and white look the closest, blue and green look the closest, and red and orange look the closest. The first step to solve a Rubik's Cube is, well, to have it scrambled. To scramble a cube, there's not much to it. You basically just turn it randomly until it looks pretty messed up. Alright, so here's cube is scrambled, and we are going to dive right in. The first step in solving a Rubik's Cube is the white cross. So on a Rubik's Cube, there are three different kinds of pieces. There are centers, which actually don't move around in relation to each other. They just spin. And there are edge pieces, which are these here. There's 4 of them on each side. And then corner pieces. There are also 4 of them on each side. Solving the white cross essentially means just having the white centerpiece and then the 4 edge pieces around it solved. And solved means the white's facing up, so they're touching and makes a cross pattern. And then if you look at this color on the side of one of them, you can match it to the center, and then all the other ones will be in the correct place. But if it is like this, for instance, where this edge piece is orange and it's connected with orange, and even the blue is connected, but these other ones don't line up, then these are not in the correct location. So when we're solving the white cross, we need to remember the color scheme, and we just put the first one in wherever. So for instance, this red and white piece, we can move it into the center layer and then just rotate it up into the top next to the white. And now we can match this red with the red center. So now we have the red and white edge touching the red and white center. Now we can figure out where the other edge pieces go based on the centers. So the next one I see is orange and white, so we can put that opposite red because the red center is opposite the orange center. So we can put it in on the opposite side that we put the red one in. If we turn it up right here, it would be right next to red and would not match the center. So we want to move it over and put it in this side, which is opposite red. So we can turn the whole top layer, and then when we put it in, it is now opposite red. And then we can match up the centers. So now the red edge piece lines up with the center piece, and the orange one does also. Alright, here's the green and white piece. We know that goes here because the green center piece is right here. So we can put it in by moving the top layer, and then when we rotate it up, it matches the white cross, and then we can turn the top layer to line up the centers. The last piece is the blue one, and we know it goes here because A, that's the one missing, and B, this is the blue center. So we can move this edge piece into the middle layer, and then to turn it into the top in the correct spot, we can move the top layer so that when it goes in, it is opposite green, and it will line up with the other centers. Alright, so the next step is finishing the white face, which involves putting all the corners in the correct spot. So just like it was the easiest to put an edge piece in using the center layer, it is easiest to put the corner pieces in using the bottom layer. So if we have a corner piece in the bottom layer with the white facing out, like this one here, then we can look at the other color that is facing out, which here is red, so we can match it up to the red center, which here it already is. So we can put it in by rotating it on the white face, which is where this is facing this way, so like this. And then we can match it up to this green and white edge, like this. And then when we move this face back, then that piece is in the correct spot. Alright, so the next one we'll do is this one, since it's already facing out. So we can match up this green piece to the green center, which is right here. And then we can put it in the same way. So we can turn the front, and then match these two pieces. And then we turn the front back, then it inserts it. Alright, here's another one. This one's faced the other direction, but we have white here. And the other one is red, so we can match it up to the red center. And then we can put it in by turning the face this direction this time. And then when we match up these two pieces, we can turn it back, and then it solves that corner. Alright, so the last corner would go right here, and it is actually on the bottom. So what we're going to do is rotate it underneath here, and here is our first algorithm. So this algorithm will move the piece from the bottom into the top. It won't be rotated correctly, but we can fix that with the same algorithm after. So to move from the bottom into the top, R prime, D prime, R, D, or you can remember it as down, left, up, right, always with the right hand. And now it is in the top in the correct spot, it just needs to be rotated. And we can actually use the same algorithm for this. If you do that twice, it will rotate this piece. So we can do down, left, up, right, or we can call it R prime, D prime, R, D, and that rotates this piece. Now if we do that more, it'll rotate it further, so R prime, D prime, R, D, R prime, D prime, R, D, and now it's back here, it's rotated this way. So basically that algorithm rotates this corner piece once, counterclockwise, every time you do the algorithm twice. So if you have a quarter piece that is in the correct spot, it just needs to be rotated. Just to basically do that algorithm until it solves that piece. R prime, D prime, R, D, R prime, D prime, R, D, R prime, D prime, R, D, R prime, D prime, R, D. And now it solves that piece. So back to here, remember we have this in the bottom, we want it in the top layer, so we can do the same algorithm, R prime, D prime, R, D, just once, and it'll bring it into the top, and we can rotate it once by doing the algorithm twice, R prime, D prime, R, D, R prime, D prime, R, D, and it solved the white layer. The third step is solving the center layer. Turn the cube upside down because we won't need to work with the white face anymore. We can insert an edge piece from the top front position to the middle layer using a trick. Do the left or right version of this algorithm depending on which side you have to insert the piece in. So now yellow is the top layer. So find an edge piece in the top layer that does not have yellow. And so here's one. This one is orange and green. And match the front up to that center. So green here is matched up here. And we can see this needs to move to the right. So the algorithm for doing that is U, R, U prime, R prime, U prime, F prime, U, F. And that inserted that piece from the top front position into the middle right position. And now we can do that again for all the rest of the center edge pieces. Alright, so we'll look around the top layer and I see this one. This does not have yellow on it. So we can match this front color up to its own center, which is red. And we can see this needs to turn to the left to match up with blue, like we could just go like that. And the algorithm for turning it to the left is U prime, L prime, U, L, U, F, U prime, F prime. And that moves it from the top center into the left. And the next one is already in the right position, ready to go in. It's green and red, and the red's matched up to its own center, so we could just turn it to the right, but that would obviously mess up the white layer. So we use the algorithm to put it to the right, which is U, R, U prime, R prime, U prime, F prime, U, F. And that puts it in there. Now we have the last one, which is orange and blue, and it is in the correct place, but it's actually flipped. So to fix this, we can just insert a random piece from the top into there, and then we can put it back in the correct direction. So we'll just pick a random one from the top and put it in here. So this would be to the right. So we can go U, R, U prime, R prime, U prime, F, U, F. And then we can find it again. It's right over here, so we can match the orange up again and put this into the right with U, R, U prime, R prime, U prime, F prime, U, F. And that solved the center layer. The fourth step is solving the yellow cross. So just like we solved the white cross, we're going to solve the yellow cross. Inspect the top of the cube. Either you see a dot, an L shape, a line, or the cross. So again, just like the white side when we were first solving, the corners don't matter right now, so just pretend they're not there, and we will solve the yellow cross. So it progresses from the dot to the L, to the line, to the cross, and the algorithm is F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. And that will bring you to the next stage. Now you have to make sure that it is in the correct position, rotated on the top of the cube. For instance, if you have the dot, it doesn't matter. But if you have the L shape, make sure the two solved pieces are in the left and the back positions. And if you have the line, make sure the solved pieces are to the left and to the right. Alright, so we'll go from the dot again. If you have the dot, do F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime, and it'll get you to the L. Make sure the solved pieces are on the back and the left for the L, and do the algorithm again. F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. And now we have the line, and the solved pieces are already on the right and the left. And we'll do it again. F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. And that solved the yellow cross. So back to this cube, we already have the L, so we can put the solved ones to the back and to the left, and do the algorithm F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. And now we have the line, make sure they're on the right and the left. F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. And that solved the yellow cross. Alright, the fifth step is swapping edges. We have a yellow cross on the top, but the edges are not in their final position. They need to match the side colors here. Turn the top layer until you can match either 2 or 4 edges to the centers. Here we have 2. If you had 4, then you can skip the step and move on to step 6. So these 2 pieces are in the correct spot because they match the centers, but these 2 are not, so they need to be switched. To do this, put the edges that need to be swapped in the left and front position and do this algorithm. R, U, R prime, U, R, U, U, R prime, U. And that switched these 2 pieces, and now all the edge pieces are in the correct place. The 6th step is to cycle the corners. So only the yellow corners are left unsolved at this point. Now we're going to put them in their final position, and we'll rotate them in the last step. So this algorithm rotates these 3 pieces like this, while leaving this piece in the front right alone. So we find the solved corner. This one is orange and blue. This is in the correct location, it's just not oriented. We'll fix that in the last step. If you have no corners in the correct place, just do the algorithm once anywhere, and then you will have 1. The algorithm is U, R, U prime, L prime, U, R prime, U prime, L. So step 7, everything is positioned, we just have to orient the yellow corners. We use the same algorithm that we used for solving the white corners in the 2nd step. R prime, D prime, R, D. R prime, D prime, R, D. So if you notice, it messed up the rest of the cube, but that'll solve at the end. So we just rotated 1 corner, hold the bottom 2 layers, and turn the top layer until the next corner that needs to be solved comes into the front right position. So this one here, R prime, D prime, R, D, R prime, D prime, R, D. And we have 2 left, so we can put this one in the front right position. R prime, D prime, R, D, R prime, D prime, R, D. And that rotated that once, we need to rotate it once more. R prime, D prime, R, D, R prime, D prime, R, D. And now we can hold the bottom and turn the top, and we can do the last one. R prime, D prime, R, D, R prime, D prime, R, D. One more time, R prime, D prime, R, D, R prime, D prime, R, D. So back to this one, we only have 2 pieces left unsolved, so we can rotate this one by doing R prime, D prime, R, D, R prime, D prime, R, D. Remember, hold the bottom 2 layers still, and turn the top layer until the next one that needs to be solved comes into this top right position. We can do it one last time. R prime, D prime, R, D, R prime, D prime, R, D, and then rotate it once, and we turn it once more. R prime, D prime, R, D, R prime, D prime, R, D. And now you might be 1 move away, and now your Rubik's Cube is solved. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below if you have any questions. And be sure to keep your eye out for new videos, which we post every week, and the 3x3 Shape Mods tutorial series, which is coming soon.